Came in the mail today, yeah. My chair came. Yeah. Check it out. And now we're gonna unbox this bad boy. Ready? That was that's weak. Whew. Dang. Look at that. Look at all of that stuff. And now we're gonna build it. 1, 2, 3. Wee. Wee. What's up, everyone? Welcome back. So, today we're going to be talking about these 4 manga, Ghost Diary, and what this manga is about. It's okay. It's okay. I mean, it's a 6.8 on Mal. It's not a bad score. It's probably like average, I think. So the synopsis is Sudami Kyochi? Tsukami Kyochi was born into an exorcist family, and his older sister is an expert exorcist. She's been putting together a notebook where she has written how to handle all the different monsters she's met in her work. One day, Kyoichi and his friends in the occult club at school go to investigate a supposedly cursed shrine, and he ends up needing to be rescued by his sister. Shortly afterward, she goes missing, presumed by many to be dead, and leaves her little brother with only the notebook. Kyoichi stays in the occult club, and as he grows up, he remains dedicated to the search for his beloved older sister. One day, his search starts to finally make some progress when a Shinigami who claims she was his sister's friend appears. So, I guess I could start off with like the first book. And so, in the first book, they kind of just start off by like telling you about what basically the synopsis said about Kyoichi's sister. Like, mm, she's presumed dead because she disappeared after the encounter of saving her little brother, or the main character in this case. And yeah, that's where her story like begins. And basically, the younger brother Koichi is his name, as I've said many times already. Basically, he's still in the club from like since he was young till like high school. He stays in the club and he keeps the same friends, and the story unfolds and it continues with him like encountering like uh the Shinigami that was stated, which is the one on the front cover. I might just put a picture over it and then or of the screen. He basically does encounter a few of the monsters that are like in his sister's notebook, which she took detailed account on each and how to defeat and everything. And they run into problems, and you get to like see the characters grow. I think that is about it. Personally, for me, uh, I I enjoyed the book, the series. I'm more tolerable when they're recommended to me. I tend to have more leniency on them because people recommend them to me. It was it was okay. It was an okay read. It's not too bad because it's not even a long manga. Like it's relatively short. I think there's 17 chapters, and it's 17 chapters on like these three books. I would give it like I don't like this numbering like a numbering system, so I'll probably make a more detailed version of like well I will rate it. Read if you just want a nice short story. So it's an easy, like, quick read if you just want to like get through something. If you've been reading a lot of like really long like manga or light novels or just books in general, then this is nice. It's a nice change of pace because it moves faster and you don't have to like it does things don't get dragged out. So that's who I would recommend it to. I guess that's not a rating, but the next manga we will be reading. What? The next manga we will be reading. That I this one I do highly recommend because I really enjoyed it, and I was surprised that when I picked this up like at a bookshop, I don't know, like a shop. I didn't know that this was the book, and I just read it online. And then, like, it was years ago, before, probably like 2 years ago, like when I also recently started to, like, when I watched anime, like, I was not a big fan of manga, but I just got this one recommended by someone, and I read it, and I was like, wow, it's really good. This one I would highly recommend. It's got good action, it's a good story, a good story. I think it's really well written, but again, it's not too long. So I'll read the synopsis from Mao. Sometimes I find it that I'm too lazy to read what is online, so I'll read it to you guys in case you want to know what this book is about. Strange creatures known as mimics have invaded Earth, sparking a global war that has humanity fighting for survival. In response, mankind forms the United Defense Force, a joint organization whose purpose is to overcome this new threat. Dedicated to the extermination of the growing mimic menace, soldiers have plunged into battle, wearing special exoskeleton combat suits in an attempt to gain the upper hand against their foes. New recruit Keiji Kiriya is immediately killed after his very first deployment, but to his shock, he wakes up exactly one day before his unit was dropped into a mimic invasion. After experiencing the same event yet again, he realizes that he is stuck in a time loop triggered by his death. As he relieves the day of the battle, as he relives the day of the battle hundreds of times, Keiji begins to make use of what he has learned about the phenomenon, gradually building up his strength and improving his skills so that eventually, when he comes face to face with the death once more, he will be ready to change his fate. As I was saying, the front cover is Keiji. The first page, I think, even. Yeah, the first page, we just see his, like. We see him, like, dead, I guess. And then, boom, there he is, alive once more. This is the other main character. I like how they drew her in, like, red. But, yeah, this is another good manga that I would. This is a manga that I would highly recommend. Because, one, it's got action. Two, it's got something like mecha suits. Yeah, mecha suits, I would say. Three, it has that, like. Yeah, it came out way before, like, the ReZero anime. That was the only reason I know about ReZero, anyways. But this came out before ReZero. So, he kind of has the same vibe as the main character from ReZero. I'll put the name up here. Like I said, from ReZero, where like he keeps dying and he has to learn like what to do in order not to die. And although you really only see him, you realize how like difficult his life is. It's a good book, and you also see growth in him. You also see a lot of growth in him. Realizes his own importance, how to live each day to uh, benefit him or to like improve his ability, or yeah, his ability to grow as an individual from each past failure. And as he grows from his failures, you understand how much character growth he has. That this book is highly recommended to those that like action and like mecha, some romance, just a little bit sprinkled in there. I guess that does it for this like manga review. I have two other mangas that I would like to talk about, but I think this will be it for now. I will see you guys in the next one. Remember, subscribe, like the video, and comment. Like, what did you think of this? How I can improve? Because I always want to improve this format. You know, make it something enjoyable that you guys want to see. I also have one more book, but this is like an actual book. Are you still here? Cool. I'd like to recommend you this book. 1Q84. It's a long read, so I don't know how many of you guys will actually pick it up, if any, because it is a long read. There is some 920 pages or so about in this book, and I'm only halfway through it. But I could tell you that this is a really good book, and I really like this author, Haruki Maruyama, because the way he writes his stories is in such an interesting way, because they're not written like in a traditional format. You have one story going ahead, you're following one character. In his stories, you're following multiple characters, and he's telling one story alongside another, which is quite an experience. And the first one I read was of his works was Hard Boiled Eggs and the End of the World, which is another book that you follow alongside two stories that are being told simultaneously, and but they are connected. Like, both stories are not like that he's telling in the book are separate stories where it's just like one is one going one way, one is going another way, but they're tied together in a certain way. And I'm not gonna drag this out too long, but this one, I would say, like, this one is for people that like really enjoy to read, but I would say I would recommend, if you really want to get a taste of what this book is about, or like his writing style, I would recommend Hard Boiled Eggs and the End of the World by Haruki Maruyama, because I think that one is only 300 to 400 pages long. It's a relatively shorter book. It's a good book that could lead you to this one, because they both have the same sort of structure. Every other chapter, or one chapter is about one person and one chapter is about another person, but they're both like connected in some sense. So I just want to put that out there, that he's a great writer, and I highly recommend it to you guys, in case you want to read something else other than manga. But hey, if you're still here, thank you very much, and hit that subscribe button, because why not? So, see you on the next one. Bye bye.